What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am the GZ guy. Today we're going to be working on the carbon fiber roof spoiler on the G35 coupe. We're going to be sanding it down and going back over it with some clear coat to bring back a nice deep shine to it. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. So as you can see, yeah, it still has a nice carbon fiber look to it, but it's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but there's some fog here and there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some 220 and 320 grit sandpaper, get it nice and smooth, and get through that top coat, and then we're going to go ahead and respray it with clear coat. I've learned how to do a lot of this by watching more motorsports on YouTube. Definitely go check out the channel. I will make a link down in the description below if you're interested. Dude is phenomenal with all the work he does. Super nice guy. He is also on Texas Honda channel, is his other channel. Super pumped, actually. I want to review something. I bought something from him just the other day. It has already got here. I pre-opened it a little bit just to make it easier on camera, but he is selling merch. I went ahead and ordered one of his mugs that he makes. First time I'm looking at it right here, just now taking it out of the box. That is phenomenal. Beautiful work. So he just got a laser etcher. He does all this himself, so he buys the cups and stuff like that and then does his own work on them. And wow, that is beautiful. On the back side of it, one of his sayings, no risk, no reward. And there's a small Easter egg on all of his cups. He puts a Bible verse on them. So let's see if we can find where it's at on this one. I am super pumped once again to have this. It matches with the color scheme of my car with the blue. So this will be nice when I'm heading to work. And there it is. We found, let's see if I can pick it up on camera. The lighting's not the best here. There is our Bible verse. We have Matthew 28:10. So that is super cool all the way around. Great quality. I'm really excited to have this and be able to support his channel. So if you guys are interested, be sure to go check out more motorsports and Texas Honda channel. Pick up a cup today. So it all kind of ties in, since I'm going to be doing some paint work on my vehicle, and that's where I learned how to do a lot of it, is by watching his channels. He has really good in-depth videos and goes over everything you need to be able to do. I have tried out some of his skill set and things I've learned there on the front grille, and I was super happy with how it turned out. So once again, guys, let's go ahead, get the car prepped here, or the roof spoiler rather, and be sure to go check out his channel and get yourself a mug. And yeah, I'm not even kidding, guys. That turned out really nice. That looks really good. So if you are watching this, James, thank you so much for the mug. I am not sponsored in any way, guys. I want you to know I did pay for this and had it sent to me. And like I've said in previous videos, I will support those who support me, and I'm going to support products that I think are great quality. And so definitely go check this out, guys. Sit tight, let me get the camera set up. We'll start getting this sanded and then taped off and sprayed. All right, guys, so I'm going to start off with 320 grit again. Just going to go real light. We're just going to scuff up the top, and then I'll hit it with the 220. We just kind of want to get that top layer clear, scuffed up and cleaned up. Be careful when you're doing this. Don't push too hard. You don't want to go too deep again. We're just trying to kind of scuff up and clean that top layer. It's going to look real bad at first, guys. I get it. It can be a little nerve-wracking when you're working on carbon fiber parts. I've only just recently done it, and honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought. So just take your time. Remember, it's not a race, guys. Just take your time. Be careful with what you're doing. Pay attention. Be careful when you're going around your trim work and any paint, not to get that scratched up, or you're going to be working on a whole nother issue. But just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and get this all done. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, guys, so went over it with the 320, got the whole spoiler done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a microfiber towel or rag, get it damp, and go over this, dry it. Then we'll hit it with the 220. So if you sit tight, guys, I'll go ahead and show you that part of the process and what we're going to be looking for. All right, so we got the wet microfiber towel here. Just going to go over it to get that top layer of the clear coat debris off. And as you can see, this will help you kind of see where you're at. We do definitely need to hit it with that 220 as well still, but it's giving that shine back to it. That's what you guys are looking for. Like I said, I know it can be nerve-wracking. doing this to carbon fiber. I hesitated and hesitated for the longest time. Like I said, I started watching more motorsports on YouTube. Again, I'm telling you, you guys have any paint work or anything like that that you want to do, go check out his videos. Definitely takes you step by step on what you want to do and explains a lot better than I can why you want to do it and so forth. So there you have it. We're going to let that dry. It's going to come back to that look right there once it dries out. Then we're going to hit it with the 220, and then I'll tell you the next step from there. So far, if you guys are enjoying this, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Do all the fun stuff like the thumbs up and so on. Sit tight for a second, guys. Let me get the 220 ready here, and we'll go over it. All right, guys, so I got the 220 right here. It's just going to be the same process. Not overly hard or deep. Again, I just want to scuff and kind of smooth out and clear up the top layer of the clear coat that's already on there, because unfortunately sometimes that will give you a nice little foggy, hazy look. We're just taking our time, like I said, going one direction as much as possible, even pressure across the surface. You just want to get a nice smooth look to it. So as I feel it, it's smooth, and again, as I'm doing that, you can see it's got small little lines in it, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and just keep smooth or sanding until this is nice and smooth. This is the process you're going to do all the way across. So give me a second here, guys. I'm going to work on this. I'll get back with you. All right, guys, so we got over it with the 220. Same thing, damp rag, wipe all that excess off. This is kind of where you're going to see what your final product's going to end up looking like. So see if it's at an area where you're going to like it. I look through it, it's nice and smooth. I can tell I've got that first really nasty layer off, if you will. Again, I didn't go too deep. You don't want to go to completely bare exposed carbon. You don't want to go all the way through the gel coat and stuff like that. So make sure you just wipe all that debris and excess off. It's going to be super important. You don't want any of that in your clear coat when you get to this next final step. So I'm going to wipe it down, like I said, with the damp rag here. Then I'm going to take a dry microfiber over it as well before we get everything taped and masked off so we can spray it with the clear coat. All right, guys, there you go. So now you should have a nice hazy look to it. Again, once we get the clear coat sprayed on this, it's all going to change. This wasn't faded around the edges, so I didn't worry too much about sanding this down. It was mostly in this upper top piece all the way across. So give me a second while I get everything prepped with some tape, and I'm going to I'll see if I can use some paper around it, or I'm just going to get like a couple garbage bags, tear them in half, and we'll get them laid on there. So that way we don't get any overspray on the car itself. Sit tight. All right, guys, so there you have it. I did a combination of a couple garbage bags I tore in half and put over with some painter's paper, so that way we will minimize any overspray. Won't get any on the windows or paint. So got everything prepped. Now we're just going to go ahead, shake up the 2K clear really good, and do nice even light coat for the first coat. I'll probably do about 2 or 3 coats. It's not too hot or cold, so this is perfect. I do have a slight breeze, so I just want to be mindful of which way I'm spraying when I'm doing that, so we don't get any overspray onto the rest of the car. So sit tight, guys, and we'll get started on that. So this is a tricky angle, so I'm going to come across this way just for my reach benefit. And again, just going to go nice and light. It's nice and easy to see where you've hit, because you can see that color's changing back to a gloss look. So again, just take your time, guys. Not a big race. Just want to make sure that we're doing it the right way the first time, so we achieve the results we want. Alright, so there's our first coat. We're going to go ahead and let that dry and tack up a little bit, but you can see already that we've got that nice gloss look back to it. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off here for a second, let that dry, finish it out. I'll let you know how many coats I do overall, and then I'll show you the prep work for after this. We may not get to the final step today because I want to make sure this dries really well. But what we'll do is basically we'll go over it and buff it so we get a nice smooth finish if there's any orange peel or anything like that. And then we'll put a sealer and everything else on it. But we'll make sure and touch base on that when we get to that point. All right, guys, so I ended up doing 3 coats on it. And you can see some of that like dimpling look in it. That will smooth out as it dries. And also once we go back over this and do the final step of getting everything polished and buffed and all that, that will come out and it will be like glass. So we'll get to that, but there you have it, guys. At this point it's just tacky drying up. We're gonna let it sit for a couple more minutes here before we remove all of our tape and prep stuff. When you do that, super important, make sure which I learned actually from watching other videos like I had mentioned prior, James Moore, peel away from it. Do it while it's tacky, because the paint or clear coat can adhere to your tape or paper, whatever you have that you use to mask off the car, and it can actually go into your final product and you got to start all over again. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry a little bit more for a couple seconds here, and as I'm watching it I can actually see where it's dried out more, and that kind of bumpy look, it doesn't show up real good on camera and it's barely noticeable if you were to just glance at it, but it's smoothing out. So it looks really good. I'm really happy with the results. Brought back that nice carbon fiber shine that we all want when we put these pieces on our car, and I don't have to worry about doing this for a long time again. This will last for years to come. So sit tight for a minute, guys. Let me get all this peeled off and whatnot, and then like I said, I gotta let this dry fully before we go on to the final step. So I don't know if I'll get that done in today's video or today. It might be a later video here. I'm gonna try to go ahead and get it all finished today. So I'm gonna let this dry for a few hours before we get to that. All right, guys, so I'm gonna let this dry a little longer before I do the next part of it, and I'll do a follow-up video or add that into another video of that process after I do it if I don't get a chance to do that today. But I wanted to make sure to get this video out for you guys, like I said in my video from last night. It's been a minute, so I'm trying to make up for some of the lost time and content, if you will, because you guys have been so supportive. I want to make sure we're getting stuff out on the channel for you, and like I said, I feel that this is a community, or at least that's what I want this channel to be. So I planned on doing this, and I figured, you know, hey, I need to make sure and get that stuff out there instead of just like, hey, I did this, guy. So I'm really happy with how it turned out so far. Like I said, it's just got to dry, but it looks like brand new. One second, let me show you. So it is still drying, but look at that. No more of that hazy, faded look. It is nice and shiny and fresh. And once we get it fully dry and I can go over it and buff it, it will look like glass. So that is phenomenal. I am super pumped with it. It makes the rest of the car look nice and clean again. Matches the spoiler, all shiny. So once that gets completely dry, I'll do that next step and take you guys through that process. And then after I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe the car down. It is clean, but it's got some bird droppings and dust and stuff on it. So we'll get her shined up for the week. But there you go, guys. Thanks so much for all your guys' support and for checking in. Do me a favor, remember, the most important thing you can do, be kind to each other. I will see you guys soon on the next video. Have a good one.